Hello everybody, it's Gary Halakan here, and today we are looking at one that I've been excited for, one that I've been excited to get. We are looking, of course, at good old Electric Blue Superman. So this is part of the Plastic Man Build-A-Figure wave, or the JLA wave. And for those who don't know, back in 1997, in the comic books, Superman became a being of pure energy, and he had to get this blue containment suit here, which first appeared in Superman number 123, as you can see right here. And this is actually a glow-in-the-dark cover, so this is a pretty cool comic here. But at the time, people didn't really like it. Thought it was kind of a dumb idea to change Superman's character so drastically like that. And of course, it didn't last very long, and he went back to normal soon after that. But I think today, this has some nostalgia value. It does for me, at least, because even if you think it was a dumb idea to change Superman's character so much, I think this is still a very cool design and a very striking design. So I think it will make for a cool figure. Now, of course, soon after this, Superman in the comics split into two versions. There was this blue version and the red version of him, which was the same design, just in red. And that is the platinum version of this figure, is the red one. And I haven't been able to get that one yet. So anyway, if we look at the box here, and we look on the side, so we see he has JLA there, Justice League of America. And on the back, we've got artwork of Plastic Man, because this is a Build-A-Figure wave. So it's got the art of the Build-A-Figure character. And we just have small art of the other figures in the wave. And you'll notice here that the Superman art is regular Superman. Well, it's 90s long hair Superman, but at the very least it is not Superman Blue, which, would match this figure. So, but they tend to do that quite a bit, so we won't worry too much about that. All right, so let's go ahead and get him out and see what we think. Okay, so here is Superman Blue out of the package. And on first impressions, there's a few things that are really great about this. And then there's at least one really glaring issue. I'm sure you can see it already here. But for the good stuff, I think the color is pretty much exactly right on. I think the colors match with the comic pretty much exactly right on. And of course, the design is a very crisp and clean design, right? The symbol looks good, and the white lines and all of that. I think the head sculpt is really good. If we get him up here, I think the head sculpt is pretty great. See how well you can see here, but the hair actually has some kind of different colors, sort of some black wash in there. Doesn't want to focus very well on it. There, if you can see the hair, it's got kind of some black wash in it. And I think otherwise the head sculpt is really good. The big glaring issue here, though, which I think you can see pretty easy, is the shoulders on this figure. They don't really work at all. I think it almost seems like, maybe this is the wrong chest piece for this body, or like the wrong chest piece for these arms, maybe. You can see here, there's a big distance between the shoulders and the chest, and there's these ring pieces to kind of cover that gap, but they're very loose and don't work real well, and you end up getting the big gap here between the chest and the shoulders. So I don't know, something is kind of off, is pretty off about that. The shoulders don't really look right. They don't really look like they're the right. They don't look like they're the right arms for this chest, or not the right chest for these arms. The shoulders don't look like they're connected that well. Otherwise, aesthetically, he looks pretty great. Like I said, the colors are really great. I don't know how well you can see it here. In person, you can tell that, the knees and the, quote, diaper piece are just a tiny one shade of blue different than the rest of the body. That's gonna, as they're made of different materials. It's not something that you're ever going to notice very much. As far as the issue with the chest there, you can see here on the comic book, he's drawn, you know, very kind of triangle shaped, right? He's got real skinny legs, which this figure has kind of big, beefy legs. And he's got, you know, a huge chest and shoulders, which this figure has real skinny chest, which makes the shoulders look funny. So proportions maybe are off a little bit, but colors and design and head sculpt are really spot on. So I don't know, a bit of a mixed bag for this one. But he is also very simple, you know, no cape or gauntlets or anything. So he should pose pretty well. Speaking of gauntlets, though, let me point out one more potential aesthetic issue. As you can see, he does have little cuffs here left over from whatever figure these arms are reused from. And on this suit, he shouldn't have any cuffs like that. But he doesn't have any boot lines, so that's good. Anyway, though, let's see how the articulation is. So for the head, we've got the best look up that I've seen in a long time. So this may outweigh some of the other issues if we can get him into some really excellent flying poses. That's probably the best look up in quite a long time. Not very much look down at all. Only a little bit look down. We've got, of course, twist side to side and tilt. Very good tilt at the head. So at these weird shoulders, we've got up pretty far. So well past horizontal there. And we've got all the way around. And we do have pretty good forward and back. So one thing, by there being a lot of space here between the shoulder and the chest, lets us get more forward and back motion. And we have the bicep swivel. And we've got the double elbow. Pretty tight here. There it goes. So the double elbow, it seems like, there we go. All right, so all the way for the double elbow. And then at the wrist, we've got swivel and hinge at the wrist, but he has kind of big hands, it seems like. So there isn't a lot of, not a whole lot of hinging at the wrist, but there is a little bit. Okay, joint at the chest. And it's not doing very much. It does twist, but it's pretty tight there. And not really any side-to-side lean at the chest. You get a speck if we include the waist. We get no crunch forward. And very little lean back. So this guy's a little more limited than I would have expected for, you know, just a simple plain body like this. Then at the waist, we've got legs pretty much horizontal and back just a little bit. Full splits. I forgot to do the splits in some of my recent videos. And no real twist at all at the thigh. We have double knee. And then at the foot, we've got foot goes up that far, down all the way. And we have a toe. The toe doesn't bend as far, I think, as some of the other ones I've looked at recently. And then, of course, we can twist at the ankle there. So, articulation, kind of like aesthetics. It's a little bit of a mixed bag here. I mean, some stuff is really good. The arms and legs are really good. But we've got basically nothing at the chest. But the maximum look up ability is makes up for it some, I think. Maybe we'll get some good flying poses that way. So I don't know. So far this figure is a little bit hit or miss. There's a lot of things I really like about it so far. You know, like I said, the colors and the design and the head. But there's things I don't like so far, like the shoulders. You can see me just moving him back and forth here makes these shoulder ring pieces move back and forth. They're very loose there at the shoulders. But anyway, let's look at accessories next. Okay, so for accessories, he of course has the card, right, that doesn't match the figure at all. And he has the stand that comes with all of these figures. And then he has the torso of Plastic Man. So I will come back to that when I do the full video on the full Plastic Man figure. And then for regular accessories for this character, he has 4 of these electricity effects that kind of have wraparound sections on them, and they're very soft, right? Pliable, so we can move them wherever. And there are, of course, no instructions on where these should go on him, what you should do with them. So I've just tried to kind of copy the cover of the comic by putting one on his shoulder there, right, and one on his wrist on each side like that. But you could put these on the legs or, you know, wherever you want to, because like I said, they are very soft and pliable. And they don't really stay on very well, at least where I've put them. They're going to move around quite a bit. And like I said, there aren't any instructions for where to put them, so it's up to you. But they don't look bad. They look, you know, suitably electric. I kind of wish they maybe had a little bit of blue to them. I guess they are just white in the comics and on the cover of the comic. But, you know, if they had a little blue, they might stand out a little bit better. But they don't look bad at all. And I think it's pretty decent accessories. You know, we actually get some. I think some of the other characters in this wave just come with the Build-A-Figure part and don't really come with too many accessories. Actually, I think each one of them comes with at least one accessory. So we at least got something. And, you know, it's not too bad. It's, you know, all you could expect to go with Superman Blue here would be some electrical effects. All right, so let's go ahead and do some size comparisons next. Okay, so for the whole video, you have been seeing him compared with the McFarlane Steel figure here. So Steel is quite a bit bigger. You know, at least you can see here, you know, a lot longer legs and bigger chest and shoulders, and not a whole lot taller, but a little bit taller. But of course, Steel is one of the real big characters in this line. In the DC Multiverse line, he's a pretty big figure. So here is Superboy Prime, and I'll be using the flight stand in a little bit here to try to get some good poses with Superman Blue. But you can see they are pretty much the same size right there. And then here is Detective Comics 27 Batman. So he's kind of a big, beefy guy too, but he's pretty much the same height as Superman Blue. But you can see Superman Blue is a little skinnier, I think. A little skinnier in the lower legs and skinnier in the arms there, I think, than Batman is. So here is Marvel Legends Cersei. So she's, of course, 6-inch scale, right? And not the 7-inch scale, but you can see how he compares with a 6-inch Hasbro. And then here is a typical 12-ounce beverage can. And then, of course, here is John Cena. And there goes everybody. So John Cena comes in there with the with his special attack and knocks everybody over. It's a very wrestling thing to do. There we go. All right, so Superman, see, they're a little bigger than John Cena. All right, so I'm going to try to do some dramatic poses with Superman Blue here next. I'm going to get him on the flight stand and see if we can get some cool things going. So overall for this figure, it's very cool to get a Superman Blue figure in this wave. Like I said, I think the colors are great, the design is great, the head sculpt is great, but there's some misses on this as well. The shoulders are not real good, and the articulation is a little bit limited. But the electric accessories are pretty good. All right, so let me know in the comments if you remember the comics that had Superman Blue and Superman Red. Let me know if you have this figure. Let me know if you got the red one. And let me know what else is cool. And we'll see you in the next review.
Electro. It's a T. I said Electro. It's a T. Like a bolt out of the blue. It's coming to shock you. Electroicity.